Kingdom Hall.
Hi. I was just wondering if anybody there could help me with a quick question I had.
Well, it depends on your question.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I was so surprised by something I heard in the news, and I was just wondering what your guys' opinion or thought about it was. Did you hear about this?
No, I don't know.
Well, it was in the news in Canada. A young mom that died from bleeding to death a few days ago. Mm-hmm. She had just had her baby.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, do you have any thought on that?
And she was one of Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
this is
yes.
what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so she did not take a blood transfusion?
Right.
Right, that's what you're saying.
Right.
Okay. Where are you? Are you here in town? Or
No, I was just trying to get in touch with a Jehovah's Witness to they don't answer the phone here in my town, but yeah, I thought I'd try a different one. Yeah, do you have any thought on that, or do all of you agree with that?
Well, let me ask you, have you ever spoken to Jehovah's Witnesses before about this? Like, we visit people's homes regularly. Have one of Jehovah's Witnesses been to your home in recent
time? Not recently. I'm trying to speak to one right now.
Well, that I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Uh-huh.
I was just curious if you'd ever run into Jehovah's Witnesses, and ask them this question, or I know you're asking it now, but I was just wondering if it's been a concern you've had, because we. Yes, hello.
Oh, I think it cut out for a minute. I'm sorry. It must have been my phone. Yeah, I missed whatever you just said.
I said that normally we will stop. We'll go by people's homes and we answer not just that question, but any questions people have.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, so if that can be arranged, we'd love to be able to answer it in person with you and go into more detail. We have information we can provide. As a matter of fact, I'd like to direct you to our website. Have you checked jw.org?
Yeah, I heard about it, but this kind of event, it doesn't really pique my interest in your organization. Actually, I'm a mother and a grandmother, and I think of the passage where Jesus even said that, if a donkey fell into a pit on the Sabbath, wouldn't you do work to go get it out? He's just saying, use common sense, and life is more important. And there were no blood transfusions in Bible times. It was talking about people would eat blood and idol ceremonies and things like that, It's talking about eating, and blood is not digested like a food. It's like replacing something in your body that you are missing, like an organ or a tissue. It's a tissue. It's not a food, So I just, do you have any opinion? Are you sad to hear that?
Oh, absolutely.
You don't sound very much sad.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
Well, you sound like you just want to change the subject. I was just wondering, how do you feel about it, and do you think it will be changed? Because, they did change it already some by allowing fractions, which were not allowed before. Do you think they will change it again?
Well, let me just say this to you. The death of anyone, and in this case in particular a mother, in this situation is a terrible, terrible thing. It's a sad thing. I mean, just to hear about this is very, very sad. It's a tragedy, a true tragedy. So just to allay that thought, obviously, not whether you're a mother, a father, or just a person, you can't help but feel for someone that dies in this manner. Now, I must say, I'm not familiar with the case. I'm not familiar with the situation. This is the first I've heard of it. So it's hard for me to comment on this particular situation as far as her dying. Like you said, the media portrayed it as, she died on the table, and or whatever the case. I don't know. I really can't comment because you're the first person I've heard talk about this. I've not seen it in the media, so it's hard for me to comment on this particular situation as far as what exactly happened.
It's in the news a lot in Canada. It'll be in the news in Montreal again tonight on the their national news. So
Are you in Canada?
Oh no, I just heard about it. It's where it happened, and there's also going to be a coroner's investigation because of all the Jehovah's Witness elders that were in the room. They're suspecting undue influence. They don't know what her decision really was. It was strange for a lot of them to be in the room, guaranteeing that this would happen. So
yeah. Well, let me just say two things, okay, without knowing all the facts of the case. Number one, each individual witness of their own volition can decide what they want to do as far as this issue is concerned. There is a medical directive that is filled out by baptized witnesses, which they sign themselves and is witnessed by others, that they of their own accord are saying no blood. So as far as undue pressure being applied by elders or anyone else, there is a form. It is a legal document that is signed by the individual stating no blood. So it's beyond what a person would say in their behalf. It's what they themselves have said. If anything, any person would back up what they have already signed as their wishes.
But isn't the penalty being shunned by everybody you ever knew if you did take blood? How is that your free choice and no pressure?
Well, that's not entirely true either. But let me just.
It's not?
No, but let me go back to something that you asked initially.
Uh-huh.
You asked what our stand is as far as this, how do I feel?
Uh-huh.
I answered that whole thing. But as far as just the thought of transfusions, let me just answer that. We do take transfusions, but the safer kind, the ones that carry no risk of hepatitis, carry no risk of AIDS, or HIV, I should say, or no risk of anything else. There are other transfusions that we take willingly and regularly in situations like this that involve a life-threatening situation, and we willingly take those, and hospitals provide them regularly.
Yeah, and fractions of blood are allowed since some time ago.
But I'm going beyond fractions.
Right, I know. Do you think Jehovah used to disapprove of fractions, but now he allows them? I mean, what about the people that died because they weren't allowed fractions before the year 2000? Do you know any?
No. Let me go back to my original thought. As far as what I stated about we do take transfusions, because you didn't ask me what transfusions we take.
Uh-huh. Yeah, these fractions that you do take that you are allowed, they're made from blood. Blood that people donated.
No, they're not fractions. It's something else.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm bringing I don't care about blood replacement. I'm concerned about this life or death mandate on this young mother.
But see, if you're concerned about that,
mm-hmm.
then you would be concerned about blood replacements, because blood replacements are what you actually need at that particular time.
Not at this time for her. That was not an option. I'm talking about deaths, like in accidents, and the incredible high risk of mothers hemorrhaging in particular.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the same. When there is severe blood loss, the greatest need at the time is to restore the fluid volume of your own blood.
No. Don't you understand that this did not work here? This was not an option. Her uterus ruptured. So I don't know why you're changing the subject like this. I just want to know if you agree with this, that she should be martyred like this, just like the Jim Jones cult, taking the Kool-Aid here. And if you approve of this, if you like this, why don't you tell people this right up front? Why?
I'm getting the thought that you really don't want an answer, but you'd rather just.
I asked you several times, and you keep blabbing on about different things. Don't you have any opinion? I mean, I said, do you want them to change this? You really think that the Bible was talking about blood transfusions? They weren't even invented.
Let me ask you, are you one of Jehovah's Witnesses that no longer is one of Jehovah's Witnesses?
No, just a concerned citizen. And I'm shocked, and I hope many more news outlets like this one in Canada that'll be on tonight in Montreal, I hope many more, because I don't think people know about this. They know something vaguely about blood, but not how many are actually dying, martyring themselves over this teaching from 7 men in Brooklyn, New York. And I just want to see how you guys feel about this. I don't know if it's just them.
Well, could I just say something? The fact that you know as much as you do tells me that you know a lot more than you're letting me know. So if you'd like to know more, then there's jw.org. You look at the website. We'd be glad to answer you there. But you take care.
It doesn't. It's not straightforward.